James Clark here, and firstly, what a game last night. All the way to penalty zone, so I'm sure there's a few of us feeling a little bit more tired this morning, maybe. But let's not dwell too much on that, because last night I asked a question about impromptu cover work, and you came back with so many amazing ideas. So let's get ready to tune in and talk it out this morning on Teachers Talk Radio.
Live from London, this is The Breakfast Show with James Clark on Teachers Talk Radio. Tune in live on the Podbean app or desktop player. Just head over to www.podbean.com/LSW/TT Radio or search Teachers Talk Radio. Follow the hashtag TT Radio.
Yes, that's right. It is time for your Monday morning breakfast show with your, well, I guess kind of cover Monday teacher at the moment, but having swapped with a lovely Amal with normally on the Wednesday show. So I'm here today on the Monday for the second week in a row, and very excited to be here, to be honest, and very excited to talk about the cover work situation. More specifically, talking about you've been given a last minute cover and no work has been set or given to you. You've now got 30 year 8s in front of you. What do you do? Comment below your ideas and comment you did. I've got so many amazing responses to go through today, which is really, really great. And yeah, I was a little bit blown away, to be honest, last night, thinking, no one's going to be really looking at Twitter, which is always a mistake to think that, in the educational world, we love a bit of Twitter, as I'm learning very quickly. And I thought, you know what? Let's just talk about last minute cover. Let's talk about going into a room and thinking, right, okay, what am I going to do? Because I've got to do something. There's no work set, or sometimes you can't find the cover work. I've had that situation where I've walked into a classroom and I've no idea where the cover work is. It turns out it was on a desk, or it was in a cupboard, or it was on someone's office desk and they forgot to bring it into the classroom, or whatever it might be. Situations happen. We're only human, but let's not dwell too much on why we find ourselves in those situations. But it does happen, as prepared as we want to be. And I asked you, what would you do? What cover work would you have? And so many of you last night, despite the game, had commented some absolutely amazing ideas. So I'm going to go through as many of these as I possibly can. But as I go through them, please let me know what's your thoughts when it comes to last minute cover work. Have you ever found yourself in that situation and thought, what am I going to do? Or had to think of a lesson or an idea literally out of the blue, or maybe even an assembly. I know assemblies can sometimes be pounced on people and they have no idea what they're going to do. So they bring out an old one, or they think, actually, what am I going to do in that moment? So where do you stand with that? And what experience have you had with last minute cover work? So looking through some of these, and I'm going to have to scroll right back to the first one, because there were some really great conversations that were happening as these posts were also coming through. So it's really great to see that was loads. I mean, I'm laughing as I go through these, because some of these are just quite interesting. So the first one said, put up their school photos on the projector and do an impromptu roasting session. I think that's great. I'm not sure how well that will go down well personally, but yeah, so thank you at teacher, I guess, who said, put up their school photos on a projector and do an impromptu roasting session. But I must admit, although probably not going to do a roasting session, I do enjoy having lots of photos of students when they're in year 7, particularly my form at the moment. They're in year 9 now, going to year 10, which is slightly scary. But there's loads of photos and videos of trips and things they did when they're in year 7. And I found them the other day on the school system, and I was showing them some of the photos, and they just, they just find it so funny, and it's just so interesting seeing how much they've grown and reminding them of them, particularly as we've got some old videos of them and things. But yeah, so completely agreed that one. I quite like that one. Not sure though if it's one that I'm going to do, but there we go. At Miss One Strachan said, quiz with rounds based on anything I know about that subject. Music round, sports round, general knowledge round. Whilst this is happening, I'd scan the room for anything else and send a child to the head of department. Still nothing. PSHCE. Really great. I mean, a few people have said this later on in some of the other responses, but you know, the world of Kahoot, where would we be without a good old Kahoot? I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic end of term thing. I don't know about anybody. I don't know, you know, is it just secondary school that does Kahoot and secondary and, you know, higher education and sixth form, or is Kahoot a thing in primary as well? I'm trying to think. When I was, well, I don't think Kahoot existed when I was at primary, but if anyone's listening as a primary school teacher, let me know. Do you still use Kahoot at primary? I'm trying to think, because I guess they might not have their own phones or things. But anyway, there we go. Thought of the day from me. Some other ones, and it's a great one that I really enjoyed. So an A4 piece of paper, divided into 8, read a story, and you stop at points and get them to do a task. For example, questions, a sketch, a character profile, etc. And I thought that was an absolutely great idea. I thought that's such a simple and effective idea of getting an A4 piece of paper, dividing it into 8, reading some kind of story. I mean, pretty much every classroom will have a story, a storybook you can read, or you can easily find them online, and then just actually stopping at points and getting them to do a task. For example, questions, a sketch, a character profile, etc. So good. Love it. Thank you as well to at Lesson Copy, who has confirmed that they do use Kahoot in primary. Was very concerned and worried for a short moment there that Kahoot was only for secondary and primary were not experiencing the joys and fun of Kahoot. Life has been saved. Thank you, Lesson Copy. Let me look at some of these other ones. And I mean, this one I absolutely loved. I'm just going to do this one. So this was from at Soph Gall, who said, recently covered a food tech year 7 class. All had ingredients to make bread, but no cover set. So they watched Bread Week on Bake Off. I just love it. I mean, also, I found a fantastic gif of Mary Berry getting very, very excited, which I thought was highly appropriate to place at that time. So, yeah, really enjoyed that one. Thank you very much. And also then at Quim Bronator. Do you know what? Doing this, every time I put a post out, and I see and I get replies back, there's always some really interesting Twitter handles out there. So that I also can't pronounce. So apologies if I get any of these wrong, because I definitely am. But they also replied back going, I've done that before with the Sewing Bee for textiles. And again, great use of TV program. And also, it's a cracking program. I've watched the Sewing Bee randomly put it on. I don't know why. You know, you just sort of end up flicking, or you're just on your computer and you're like, right, I've sung on in the background. But anyway, enough of my life story for you. I had the Sewing Bee on, and I just must admit, it was really good. But I mean, I can't sew. I mean, I am a bit of a scout. I am a scout leader, and I can't sew my own badges on, which is a shameful thing to say and admit. So I'm always highly impressed when I see people on the Sewing Bee, and naturally, like students as well in textiles and stuff, who are able to do these amazing things with sewing. But there we go. Thought of the day. At Nicola Underhill 4 said, teaching my favorite topic from my own subject. Serves the subject teacher who didn't set me work right. I shall claim that hour as knowledge for my own department. And I was just like, you take that hour. I actually had in my head when I wrote that, you go Glen Coco. But yes, I thought that was really good. Yeah, absolutely right. You know, if someone hasn't set the work, and you know they haven't put anything there for you to do, then I think you should absolutely claim that hour, which is what they've done. So fair play to them. And then we had another one here, and I'm going to read this one, and then we're going to go to a short break while we play the news for you. At Mel BD1. Now, I got excited when I saw this pop up on my Twitter, because I thought this was actually Mel B. It wasn't Mel B, so that was a little bit upsetting, but there we go. So Adam Melby at D1 said, heads down, thumbs up, or let's play 7-Up. Keep scrambling together a lesson in brackets. And I loved Heads Up. And that was a primary school game for me. I don't know if it's, hopefully teachers do know what I'm talking about when I say heads down, thumbs up, but I used to I still do enjoy that game. But I really, really loved that game. And it used to be such a treat, I think, for us on a Friday at primary school if we got to play heads down, thumbs up. And yeah, cracking one. I love 7-Up as well. These are great games. 7-Up perhaps not known as much. It's a bit more of a drama game. Everyone's standing in a circle. You pass around the numbers, and then 7 goes above your head, and you can change direction and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I love that. If you're in a classroom that allows you to do that. Now, I really like it if I am in space that I can move things around or get up or do stuff, particularly if I'm taking on a cover lesson that I've not had any work for. But that's not always easy and not always possible to do. But where possible, crack out a bit of heads down, thumbs up, and 7-Up. Really great. Loads more to get through. Loads more ideas to come in. And you can let me know live as well. So if you are sitting there having a lovely cup of tea, which I know some of you are, more than welcome. I've got my cup of tea here as well. Get involved. Let me know. Tune in, talk it out. Get involved via the Podbean Live app or of course on Twitter at TT Radio 2021. Or you can contact me directly at JAMCLAR96. And even if you're listening to this back and thinking, oh, I've got a fantastic idea that I would want to share, or actually, I found that one quite enjoyable, I want to give my own response, then get involved. Come find my Twitter, find that post, also on Teachers Talk Radio, and comment below. Let's keep these very interesting ideas going, because there are some absolutely fantastic ones on here, and so many more to come, and so many more amusing ones to come, to say the least. So on that note, we'll pause there, we'll play the news, and then we'll be right back. We'll be discussing more of your amazing last-minute cover ideas.
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and this is Teachers Talk Radio News.
This is a Teachers Talk Radio News feature with Gail Glenn. The feature will cover the 9th of July press release from the DFE entitled Higher GCSE Grades Linked to Lifetime Earnings Boost. Statisticians and economists at the Department for Education have for the first time established a direct link between GCSE attainment and an increase in lifetime earnings. The earnings of more than 2 million people in England were studied over a 12-year period, and the results highlighted that those whose overall performance was just 1 GCSE grade higher over 9 subjects, on average earned over £200,000 more over their lifetime. School Standards Minister Nick Gibb said, "We are taught from a young age to do well at school, to better our life chances. And today we see tangible, robust evidence to support this. GCSEs equip young people with the knowledge and skills they need to succeed. And this data shows how small improvements to grades can have a huge overall impact on people's lives." The research looked at people in England who sat their GCSE exams between 2002 and 2005, alongside earnings records, and found that those who achieved just 1 grade higher than their counterparts in 1 subject saw an increase in their lifetime earnings by an average of £23,000. Head teachers have, however, expressed concerns that there are winners and losers inherent in the system, and if this persists, then there will always be a forgotten third of pupils. Jeff Barton, the Association of Schools and College Leaders General Secretary, said, "Nobody is going to be particularly surprised that children who attain higher GCSE grades earn more in their lifetimes, because they are obviously more likely to progress to higher education and well-paid jobs. What is more surprising is the lack of recognition that we will always have winners and losers in the GCSE grading system, because the distribution of grades is determined by a mechanism which means it is largely similar from one year to the next. This mechanism has been disrupted by the changes forced by the pandemic. But in normal times, it means that about 1/3 of children at the age of 16 do not achieve at least a grade 4 GCSE in the gateway subjects of maths and English. This is baked into the system. If we persist with this approach, there will always be a forgotten third who are likely to fare less well in life than other children. It is a key feature of the cycle of disadvantage which continues to blight our society. GCSEs are a well-recognised qualification, but there is surely an overwhelming case to rethink the current approach to how they are graded so that the system works in a better way for all our young people. The report from the DFE stated that the research will be pivotal in creating new policies going forward, and that the government has committed to an ambitious and long-term education recovery plan, including an investment to date of over £3 billion and a significant expansion of tutoring, which will include supporting pupils completing GCSEs to help children and young people make up for the learning lost during the pandemic. This has been your latest Teacher Talk Radio news.
Good morning and welcome back to your Monday morning breakfast show with me, James Clark, where we are talking all about last minute cover work. Those moments where you find yourself in a room with 30 kids looking back at you and no idea what to do because no cover work's been set, which is really helpful. But it's a good job. Us teachers are pretty amazing and can think of a whole array of things on the spot. And you have come up with certainly an array of things. What a great word array is. I don't use that enough. There we go. It could be my word I think today that I'm going to use. How many times can I slip array into a conversation? That's my game today. You can tell the interesting life that I live. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get ready to share some more of your amazing ideas. And if you've got ideas, you can let me know via the Podbean Live app or, of course, on Twitter, #TTRadio. Tune in, talk it out today with me on a Monday morning, wherever you might be. And what's really great is there are still loads coming through this morning. So we've got even more amazing ideas coming through on Twitter about your ideas. When I posted the status going, look, you're in a room. There is 30 students looking back at you. They're year 8. You've not been set cover work. What do you do? And Halliwell at Halliwell_E said, Kahoot and /or a short film on the subject. And I just responded, gotta love Kahoot. And I talked about this earlier. We've confirmed through the wonders of Atlas and Copy has confirmed for me that you do get Kahoot at primary. So don't panic if, like me, you weren't sure that your primary school children up and down the country are still getting the joys of Kahoot. And straight onto that one. We've got some more here. This one's quite interesting. At Booze Purgeon. Again, I'm really bad at these names. I do apologise. They said, I teach them self-defense. It's in my head, so can do it without notes. Now, this one's quite an interesting one. And then the Obvious Ministry said, would be interested to see the risk assessment for that. To which their response was, no risks. Less than a PE lesson for sure. So, yeah, maybe crack out the older self-defense. Not too sure how self-defense would work in a science classroom or a geography classroom or something like that. But I would be interested to see what that would be like. No doubt, yes, very interesting. And not my first choice of a lesson to go to, I will admit. But who knows? Good morning to Ned Snow as well, who's using the Podbean Live app to talk to us. So good morning. At Miss Gallagher RS said, I've got them before to imagine they are going into a primary school to teach a group of year 3, 4, 5 as appropriate about the last topic they studied and made them plan their workshop/lesson complete with all activities and how they'd explain complex topics to younger children. Love this idea. Oh, excuse me. That's a live sneeze for you. Absolutely, it's the joys of hay fever. No, absolutely, I love this one. I think this is such a great idea, and I'm disappointed that more people didn't see this one, so I'm going to repeat this one because I do think this is a really great kind of little project and mini, I guess, and later on there's been lots of people that said about mini enterprise projects and things like that, but I'm like, this is such a great idea. So at Miss Gallagher RS saying, I've gotten before to imagine they're going into a primary school to teach a group of year 3, 4, 5 as appropriate about the last topic they studied, and made them plan their workshop/lesson complete with all activities and how they'd explain complex topics to younger children. How great is that? I thought it was such a solid idea. At Kellyanne Steed said, I have quick fire debates. They each get 5 post-its and have to try and spend all of them by handing in one each time they give a reason for being pro or con on an issue. Mix of funny and serious topics can add movement when COVID allows. Again, I thought this was really, really great. And my response to that was, honestly, how will we survive without post-its? Loving this idea. I do love it, and I do love a post-it, but I always lose them. I don't know where my post-it notes have gone, but they just seem to always disappear. So I am going to have to that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to treat myself to some more post-it notes because they have all disappeared at the moment, which is very sad. So if anyone wants to give me some more post-it notes, that'd be great. At Square Peg 47 saying David Attenborough, again, always a classics go-to. Solid. David Attenborough, I'm sure, has saved the lives of many a teacher up and down the country with cover work. Love a bit of Blue Planet. And do you know what the great thing is as well about using something like David Attenborough is the kids absolutely love it. Like, if you say to students, okay, we're going to watch a documentary today, you know, lots of them be like, oh, that's a bit boring, I don't want to do that. Like, no. But actually, it's something about the way that David Attenborough documentaries are done that no matter the age or the ability or a group of students, they get so engrossed in what's happening and behind the stories, and you know, particularly when it's the ones of the animals and they're fighting each other or whatever it might be, and they're connected with it. It's just such a great Blue Planet was a perfect example of that. And I remember, that was so topical for lots of our students who had seen it and gone, actually, I want to make a difference. Like, look at this pollution, and actually it was really great, particularly with the plastic. At Myth _ said, I think it's at Myth __, I'm not sure, but short film and narrative writing based on it. I love these for basic task of narrate / inner monologue / write based on the soundtrack only. And they've actually given a video that people can watch called Alma that I've not watched, but somebody called at Lauren Cafferty has said, I've used Alma on many an occasion. Myth replied, it's great short. I usually use it as part of a Let's Think forum lesson. For the purpose of emergency 30-minute cover, it worked well. And Lauren saying that actually I've used it for several look squirrel moments during the second school closure. I have no idea what a look squirrel moment is. I've never heard that in my life. So I'm going to have to ask what that is, unless anybody knows. During the second school closure, when live lessons failed or work had been completed for that week. And again, there's so many amazing resources out there. And I think that's why we're so lucky, particularly with YouTube. I mean, what happened before YouTube? Did anyone teach before YouTube existed? Because I'm thinking the amount of times I've gone to YouTube for a quick video, or we're talking about a certain topic, and I'm like, actually, I need a video about this or demonstration on this or whatever it is. YouTube's a lifesaver. I want to know what. And I was at school before YouTube. I think YouTube's been around 10 years, 13 years? I don't know. It's not been around that long, I don't think. So, what did people do before YouTube? There you go. That is going to be next week's question. Maybe that's what it's going to be. Good morning to those who've just joined us popping out. We are talking about a last-minute cover lesson. So you're welcome to Teacher Talk Radio. We're talking about you've arrived in the room, you've got 30 kids in front of you, and they are saying there's no cover work. What are you going to do? And come up with your last-minute ideas. And we've had so many amazing responses, and they're still going through. There's still so many amazing responses coming through on the Twitter today. So get involved. Tune and Talk About. You can share your ideas on the Podbean app. You can share them on Teacher Talk Radio on Twitter at TT Radio 2021, and you can find the post on my Twitter even. But you can also find us on Facebook. You can find it on my Twitter at JamClar, JamClar 96. And we've got so many more to do. I'm going to respond to this at Lauren Cafferty because I want to know what a look squirrel moment is. So if anybody does know, let me know. I'm very intrigued. Until then, here's a short advert for you.
Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. At Creative Resources, we've been rethinking what a classroom can be. We've created a huge range of more than 2,500 original and exciting resources that span across more than 15 different subject areas. Whether you're looking for primary or secondary level resources, careers options, PSHE, arts, or humanities, Creative Resources have the resources for you. We offer full curriculum packages and unique, challenging escape rooms themed on topics such as Shakespeare, Tudors, and fractions. We have quizzes, task cards, Tarsia puzzles, and lots more. Better still, more than 100 resources can be accessed for free. Just visit our website, www.CRE8TIVEresources.com. You can get 10% off any order you make on our website by using the discount code TT Radio. Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful, and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TT Radio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club. Introducing the Leadership Masterclass series by Diana Osagi. Learn how to ditch your fears and develop your leadership confidence. How to deal with difficult colleagues. How to thrive when you lead in a challenging environment. And how to get colleagues to buy into your vision. Join Diana for her online leadership masterclasses starting on the 10th of July and running all the way through the summer. These sessions are the perfect way to prepare and refresh for the next academic year and beyond. Book your place at courageousleadership.co.uk/events now. The first 50 leaders to sign up get an additional free mini coaching session with Diana herself. Don't miss this. Courageous Leadership Masterclasses at courageousleadership.co.uk/events.
Good morning and welcome back. We are talking all about cover. I have asked what is a squirrel moment. No one knows yet, so we're going to find out what that is because I'm intrigued. But we've got loads more to get through and loads more still coming through this morning. So impressed with all the responses we're getting on Twitter, and you too can get involved. Find the post on @JamClar96 or join us. Of course, make sure you're following @TT Radio 2021, where I'm always amazed at how many amazing people there are, following us, and how many amazing radio hosts there are and teachers. So do tune in every day of the week. There's a show happening. You can find the schedule, and let's just talk about pretty much everything it's discussed throughout the week. But you can stay up to date and make sure you know what's happening by following @TT Radio 2021. And we've got some more examples to share with you. And I'm going to go in a moment to one from a Helen at H. Claringbourne, to be precise, who had a very, sensible answer. I approve of this, Helen. Helen said she would contact the head of faculty or the head of department, whatever it might be in your school. But if no cover is forthcoming quickly, I teach them a music lesson. My subject replaced with your specialism. and ensure they get a high quality, meaningful lesson, even if it's not what they should have been doing. As teachers, we all have something we can teach. And I thought that was just so true. And actually, there's a wider discussion there. There's a wider debate. And actually, is cover really that effective? Is a cover lesson actually that effective? Because sometimes, you do have people that it's not their subject specialism, and quite often, particularly in secondary school or sixth form, where it might be, and actually they're not going to know anything about it, and it's going to be a worksheet or a copy of this or a poster. We love a poster. Is that meaningful? But then also, it's not down to a teacher who's covering to have to think of something creative or make it meaningful. That's down to you as a cover teacher. But as a subject teacher. But it's an interesting discussion, and loads more ideas are coming through. And I think this is turning out really helpful. I think someone put a comment earlier saying that they're just planning their cover and they're looking at these quotes and ideas that people have put and stealing them all. Absolutely. At Miss A T Pikachu. Oh, T, yes. Miss A. Oh, it's Miss At. Oh, my goodness. Do you know what? Every time I do this show, there are points of the show where I wake up and I go, this is too early. I go to speak and I'm like, what is happening? But anyway, at Miss At Pikachu said, describe the basics of Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet, or show a select clip from it. Discuss as a class. Write at least an A4 page in their best writing about how they feel about climate change and what the school could do to help. Pass the best onto the eco team. I really enjoy this. And then she goes on to say, it matters not what the subject is. If they didn't set me cover, I'll do something moderately off curriculum, but useful. Love this. And I responded going, dance party. I don't know why I responded dance party. That must have just made sense to me last night when I commented that. But they went, depends if I have my bag of eccentric motivation with me. Then there may be sweets. I really enjoy it though. And I think it's just so great. Again, another example of using David Attenborough. At R Clutter Buck ED said, run the balloon debate. Love the balloon debate. Always really interesting. If you don't know what that is, it's where you're in a hot air balloon. Two ways to do this. One way you can get them to do it is everybody becomes a famous celebrity or a fictional character. It could be a character from a book they're reading, whatever it might be. And they have to defend why they should stay on this hot air balloon. They've got to get rid of one person each round. Why should they stay? And they basically argue their case about what they can offer. Why it's quite grim when you think about it, because you're basically saying who we're going to bump off and throw out this air balloon. But there we go. So you got that example, or you can do it where they, sell themselves and they talk about what they can offer and why they should stay, or skills that they can offer and things. So a couple of ways of doing that, but actually saying it out loud, I'm like, that's actually quite horrific and grim. But there we go. It goes down very well, to say the least. Pardon the pun. At Keith_champion saying, play them some particularly stirring classical music and ask them to write the songs that goes with it in a paragraph. Something like Dance of the Night. Love this. And this one was quite interesting. And I didn't know what this is. And there's a wide discussion going on about this one. Because then at Just EVC put the pirate game. At Lesson Copy said, what's the pirate game? At Cahill, who's also another fantastic host on Teacher Talk Radio, said probably the best game ever. And I have no idea what this game is. And no, I don't think anyone explained it. So I'm intrigued to find out. Maybe someone did respond to it. Let's have a look. And do I need to click there? Oh, I have got it. I've got the pirate game. No one panic. Don't panic. It's like battleships with some calculation practice on the side and tactics and revenge built in. Search on TES. It's free to download and so much fun. Okay, so this is called the pirate game. I'm just trying to look at this. And I don't really understand it, but I feel like I need to look at this. Put one of these each on the grid. Okay. And then you just... Okay, I feel like I need to read this properly. So I'm not going to try and read this live. Because no one really wants to just sit in silence while I read it. Apologies. Again, the sneezing. The hay fever is on full form today. So there we go, pirate game. So that one is, someone's posted a link for that one on the Twitter, on the post there that I posted earlier. So do have a look at that. The pirate game, apparently very interesting. Lesson Copy is apparently now going to be teaching this to their year 8s. And just even saying, I'll be teaching it too. for year 6 this week. So let me know how you get on. So I'm very intrigued now. We could be setting a trend of the pirate game going viral. At E. Slade Port said, read to them. Absolutely. Again, really great example. The power of reading, we know it is an amazing thing. At Lesson Copy said, or teach them close-up magic coins. That always goes down well. I really agree with this. I think that's a fantastic way to spend a lesson. So I thank you, at Lesson Copy. I think that's a perfect way. I mean, I can't do that trick. So I actually think you need to upload a video demonstration of that trick happening, so that we can share that worldwide and take over. But yeah, teach up close-up magic coin tricks. I remember, must have been about a year ago, there was obviously a little bit of a trend going around with card tricks, because there was a couple of kids who were absolutely obsessed with card tricks, and they just get, well, I love it, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of magic, but you know, once I see a trick once, I don't need to see it, 3, 4, 10 times, but very impressive you can do it. And then there's obviously, I'm always envious of people that can do magic tricks and sleight of hand and all those things, because I wish I had those skills. But yeah, teaching them magic tricks, and then they can maybe do a performance. Let's make it, into a full drama lesson. There we go. At Quim Berenita said, horrible histories for history/Disney songs in different languages for MFL and memory games. Love that. I love the Disney songs in different languages. I think that's a great idea. At the Loves Jude, I'm guessing the Loves Jude, perhaps, said, grab a textbook, class reading, answer the questions in silence, smiley face. Nice, easy cover lesson we're going for there, Jude. We'll go for Vicky, sorry, we'll go for a nice, easy lesson. Absolutely. But it does make me laugh, because with this post, there's been some, and if you just joined us, do make sure you listen back to all of these. You can listen back via Podbeam, and you go on to Teacher Talk Radio website to find us there, or on Spotify or Apple or any of those sort of platforms. You'll find us, because there have been some really interesting ones. I mean, we started off with someone saying that, what was it? Find their school photos and roast them, up to some slightly more helpful ones with the balloon debate, the pirate game, all of these great ideas. And then also just grabbing a textbook, nice and easy. Not the most, again, we talk about the beneficialness, whatever that word is, of radio, of cover. And not quite sure that's going to go down too well with students. And actually, I find it quite boring. I'd rather have a slightly engaging cover lesson than just be sat with a textbook sometimes. At Nembard Nisha said, class debate about a current topic, start with a floor debate and then split into groups, either for or against. Loads of these ideas coming through for debate. At Thea's Nexus saying, create a poster celebrating their best learning tip and share. Interesting. I think it's a great one for the old years, that one. At Andy Lambs, do I have time to get to the photocopier? If yes, then a cross number. Always got one handy. If no, then you guessed it, a Kahoot. Oh, we are fans of Kahoot. You just can't go wrong with it. You know what you're getting. You know it's going to survive. It's always good. Someone asked there for the subject. And then at Franksbury Pie saying computers available. They'll do an hour of code, drama/English, freeze frames on the most embarrassing moments. If it's language, timetables in that language. Interesting. The A to Z game where you think of a word for each letter. PE will be rounders if possible, or posters on fair play. Geography, drawing flags or maps or word association. Then I did a lot of cover was the kind of response there. I think that's really great. And I think it's really good that they've got loads of different examples of different subjects. Yeah, really love this one. Different computers, they can do coding. I love the MFL times tables. I think I've not seen that one. I think that's really, really good. And I'm just commenting a very nice gift to that one, because I'm very impressed. They can have a round of applause from Leonardo DiCaprio, because that was wonderful. At Akra_Molly said, use an Oak Academy lesson for that subject, or find a documentary or create a poster. Yeah, Oak Academy's come up quite a lot on this one, actually. I've seen that quite a few times. And again, I think that's a fantastic resource. Particularly, I love, lockdown has been difficult. Lockdown has been hard. Let's not beat around the bush with that. It's not been an easy time. But, on the plus side, it has created so many amazing resources that students can access, if they're at home for isolating for obvious reasons, but also just generally for classroom as well. And I think Oak Academy is a prime example of that. There are obviously so many other resources that staff and students have created and shared. And I think it's really great that all of that work is now still available and still there for us to access if we're in cover lessons, if we can't get there. Snow days are never going to be the same again. You know, I said to my form the other day, I was like, you do realize snow days are no longer going to be a thing, because if it snows or something happens, we can't get to school. You know, the boiler, we had a situation in the boiler not long ago, and the Wi-Fi, you are no longer going to get a day off. Like, you are literally going to be set like work to do. And they were shocked. I was like, yep, this is it now. Thanks to lockdown, you never have to worry about having to do, not have work to do, because we will find you some. So, you know, thank you. At Jade Hickson saying, again, read to them. We've had that one a few times. At Princess Music 00 said, body percussion, warm up to 3 lines, and then stomp style group work using bodies only. Obviously, a music teacher there. Love that example. I think, yeah, 3 lines, anything topical, students seem to love. At Jog Emily saying again, Oak Academy, yeah, we've talked about that one. At MG Teacher 1 said, watch advice from BBC News report on the net. Into groups, create a TV news program. I love doing stuff like that. I love a news program. We've got a fantastic gift there cracking out from Mr. T Marston 1, telling us all about Planet Earth 2. Again, David Attenborough saving the lives of teachers over and over again. At Library in Hungary said, English extract from a great book, 1 page max, then a language paper, 1 type of questions. List 4 things, lang comment, structure comment, then an image somehow created by theme and a writing section. Description based on an image, and you have to try and use 7 words from the extract. I mean, that is... I'm reading that and I'm trying to get through it in my head. There are a couple of examples. They're also easy to make. You can project it, so no printing necessary, and it's analysis and creativity. I've got to read that one again. So this is for an English one. You get an extract from a great book, so 1 page max, then a language paper, 1 type questions. You list 4 things. Oh, languages in English and got it. I was thinking languages as in modern foreign languages. You could tell I'm not an English teacher. That makes so much more sense. So yeah, extract from a book, a language paper, 1 type of question, list 4 things. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that this person as well provided some examples as well, which is really, really great. So check that one out on Twitter. Again, with more here from Freya about reading books out loud. At Martin Bussy said, questions about life, the universe, and everything. Deep. Yeah, I'm not sure how some of my students would take that if I asked them what the meaning of life is. I think some would love it, but I think others would be a bit bewoodled to be the same. Loads still coming through, and I can't believe that I've not even got halfway through this. And there are some really great ones still to come. You know, at Obvious Ministry, again, talking about Oak Academy, lessons good enough, and they work well on screen. Absolutely ease of it. At ginger_non_geek. They all have AR books. So we have Sunny reading for half an hour, then 30 minutes to each student reading 1 sentence of their book to make a story that amuses me. That is a cracking idea as well. I've never heard that one before, but I think that's such a good idea. Getting each student to read 1 sentence of their book to make a story that amuses me. I mean, I've done the 1 word around the circle. That's a classic drama thing, and the stories always end up being completely random. Usually about death or poo, or death and poo. Might be too early to talk about death and poo, so apologies about that. It's always bizarre, always end up in a fight, but that's maybe just teenage brains. But yes, taking a story that they are reading and they have to each read 1 sentence from it. Love that idea. At a _no_other_teacher said, I teach with getting them to do an A to Z of whatever topic they're doing, i.e. find words from the A to Z to link with the topic, then look online for something, TES or similar. I love these sort of, again, talking again about the use of online. It's fantastic. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 more, and then I'm going to go to a short ad break. At the Jen Sonator. Again, these names. I just love these Twitter names. I think I need to create a book of my favorite Twitter names, because some just make me go, "What? Why are you going for that name?" This might be someone's name, which is why it is. But anyway, had to do it this last year. We tried to find all the great scientific inventions in the room and explain how they changed our lives. Switches, lenses, levers, springs, etc. Turned out to be really engaging, just like an Easter egg hunt. I'm a music teacher. Lol. Really great. Yeah, that's again thinking completely outside the box. And I think lots of students would have gone in and seen its cover and thought, oh no, and then that happens and it's amazing. At Mr. Brown says, the 4/4s problem. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to ask, what is this? Anyone know what the 4/4 problem is? I don't, yeah. Okay, so I'm asking what that is. But again, there are a lot more intelligent people apparently on this call than I am who understand all these things. Never done that in my life. So if anyone knows what that is, let me know. While we do that, we'll go for a short break. But so many more amazing ideas come through. I don't think I'm going to be able to get them through. There's literally coming up to hundreds of ideas coming through on the thread. So do get involved. If you have any ideas of last-minute cover or of something you would do, let us know on Twitter. You can find the thread on @TTRadio2021, those who've just joined us. You can comment live on the Podbean Live app, or you can find the thread on my personal Twitter @JamClark96, where you can join in the conversation, tune in, talk it out. And just some more coming through. Oh, there we go. More coming through. So do make sure you get involved with that. At Nembard Nisha saying, listen to politically driven piece of current music, e.g. Dave Black. Discuss the use of vocab and message being sent. Discuss the impact of the performance and create a vocab web about different topics. Come up with their own lyrical piece. Even if it's just 3 or 4 words. I'm blown away. Honestly, I can't get the imagination and creativity of so many amazing people on Twitter. So let's hear some more coming up very shortly.
Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TTRadio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club.
Good morning, welcome back. It's the Monday Morning Breakfast Show with me, James Clark, and very excited to be here as always. Always a pleasure, never a chore, as they say. And we've been talking all about cover. Before then, let's have a little bit of a stretch. I feel like I'm a yoga instructor now. It's just me that needs to stretch, who knows? I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are. Maybe perhaps you are on your way to work, or maybe you are in work already. Wherever you are, very glad to have you join us. And if you have just joined us and thinking, oh my goodness, I've missed the start of the show, I wasn't up in time, don't panic, don't fear, you can listen to it back. Simply go on to the website Teachers Talk Radio, follow us on Twitter @TTRadio2021, and tune in, talk it out. Lots more ideas coming through here, going to try and get through as many of these as we can. We've had some really interesting examples. Plus, very exciting, thank you, Alice and Copy, who has actually sent me a video on Twitter of how to do the magic coin trick. So we can now go across the nation, across the UK, and be spreading the joy of how to do the magic coin trick. So do have a look at that one. I will be making sure we repost that one, and I'm sure we will on the @TT Radio 2021 Twitter as well. So thank you for all that. And you can listen to my voice in the background, which is always slightly scary when you listen to yourself back. Here we go, on to some more examples then. So at Miss Daisy6 saying, design a theme park or a music festival. Draw the maps and think about the cost of the tickets. Design the adverts and posters. Think about the target audience, etc., etc. At CG Vals, who's one of our wonderful hosts here on Teachers Talk Radio, saying, yes, group design simulations generally work as the 3-part structure essentially writes itself. You just need a group goal, team goals, individual goals, and appropriate roles for each team member. Then leave space for argument, agreement, presentation, and reflection. Love this idea of I've done this before with a music festival, but I've not actually gotten to design a theme park. I think that could be really interesting to explore, and I think there's lots of elements there that you could get them to do as well, as Chris Fowles has already said there. At Bus I Magic, FEMA magic coming through again today. It depends if I can even pretend to stay on subject. Assuming I can't, I will try to think of a current affairs issue that loosely relates to the subject, use clips and headlines to have a class discussion, then get them to write a response. Again, really using that idea of looking at something, engaging with something, responding to it. Fantastic. At Fish100 saying, an enterprise lesson. Shindigo idea built around the 4 Ps. Target marketing, they have to produce a 30-second advert. They have to act out. Business study teacher, always driving the subject. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Grant. At English teacher, saying you get to be in charge of the canteen for a week. You need to make a profit, in brackets maths, create minimal waste, in brackets geography, keep it healthy, in brackets PE, food tech and biology, and make it sound appetizing, in brackets English. Design a menu, in brackets art/ICT, and prepare an advert, drama/music, in brackets there. Yes, you can use your phones. Go. She then goes on to respond to saying, group work, obviously, noisy, obviously, potentially fun. Plus, I enjoy this one. Plus, I'd make the scumbag who left no cover look at the output. Unless there was a genuine emergency, I'm not a monster. I really enjoy that one. And yeah, it's so true. I think that's a great idea. In a moment, right, and then we talked earlier, and there's more to come of these amazing ideas of just enterprise challenges. And every time I've done something similar to that, or every time we've done something that's vaguely enterprise challenge based, the kids have absolutely loved it. They just get so into it, and fairly competitive. It does get quite heated at times, but they absolutely, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the freedom of being able to kind of do whatever they want, or we've got lots of students who really enjoy the business aspect of it, or that idea that they're marketing something, or like those sort of lines. And I think they just love. We've done it before, where we get them to create their own government. Lots of places have probably done that before. They have to create their own political party. What they're going to stand for, who's going to be their figurehead, their prime minister, who's going to write their speeches. They just love this idea of creating, and I guess it goes back to what we all did when we were young. We all loved role play and all of that. So at Ladybird0824 saying, classroom, produce a revision game for years 7-8, minimum of 20 questions from topic covered in the year. Working in pairs, it must have rules, etc. Computer room, they find an image and defines each topic in the subject, explain why, give details on photographer, moment, etc. I really enjoy these, creating a revision game. We've had some great ones as well, where we've talked about, someone earlier said about creating a workshop or a lesson plan for like a year 6 or 5 or 4. And it's, the group that are doing that is in year 8 plus. So it's a high school, secondary class making a lesson for a younger year on a topic that they've explored. Love that as an idea. I think it's a fantastic concept. At Al Welio said, you found a lump of rock in space that could support life, except it's got nothing on it. Literally nothing. What are you going to bring from Earth so you can live there? Good. These are great, though, because these are great little discussion questions that you can just put on the slide, or, form time discussion. I think that's a perfect example. And I think I'm actually going to save that one. I quite enjoy that one. So thank you for that one. Just go screenshot that. Perfect. At Sarah GI78263526 said, teach them how to write a letter of complaint. Pick your topic. A holiday gone wrong. The way the government have dealt with COVID. Complaining is teens' favorite thing. Again, I like that one. And then they are prepared to write a lesson of strong debate. So I enjoy that one. With a fantastic gif of somebody on the floor screaming, saying, complaining. Gotta love that. At Chris Larder said, used to be easy a few years ago. And what they've posted is a video gif of, you remember when we had the DVDs? And you load the DVD and it would have that DVD video logo that's bouncing around the screen and would change color. I remember that. Oh, memories. At Mass Impact, teach them how to solve Sudoku. Start with 4x4 before moving up to a full 9x9 grid. And Deputy Lesson Copy loving this. And I do love a Sudoku. Do you know what? I can't remember the last time I did a Sudoku. I got into it at one point when I was a kid, to the point, you get your Sudoku books that your mum buys you and all this stuff. I really enjoy Sudoku. It probably, of all the puzzles, that's what I would prefer. I don't like a crossword, but that's also kind of dyslexic. So I think it's the spelling aspect that puts me off, to be honest, rather than anything else. But yeah, I'm not a massive crossword fan. Don't mind a word search, but I get a bit bored of it after a while. But a Sudoku, I find that, I enjoy those. So I used to enjoy the ones where they'd have like a question and then the answer would go along. I don't know what it was, but it used to be in the Pick Me Up magazine. So I used to do it all the time. At Southern_Stars says, stick one of these up. It's a 15-minute fantastic discussion and a potential writing task. And what it is, it's a link to 40 more intriguing photos to make students think. And some really great photos on that one. So do have a look at that link. Again, it's been retweeted by at TT Radio 2021. So you'll find it on there. Or have a look on the post on my Twitter. You'll find it at JamClar96. So at Tabita Surge, Tabita Surge, saying, read them a story, something gruesome or ghoulish. Discuss the story. Have them write a story inspired by it. Like that. Loads of people liking that one. Lots of love for that one. At Mr_N_Wood saying, yep, I have a book of short stories just for this occasion. I also have quite a few maths games and stories up my sleeve, e.g. the story of how King Arthur's daughter chose her spouse using mathematical advice from Merlin. Leads to a great mixed prime-tainment investigation of binary sequence. Then also John and Betty's journey into complex numbers, always a hit with year 8. I asked what these stories were because I'm a bit like, oh my goodness, this is bizarre. And I was like, I need this story in my life. Sorry, just picking up on this. No, it utilizes the round table to select a concert which varies according to 2 something n, which is then a function of the number of nights sat at the table that day. I'm already lost. I'm already gone. And this is for year 8. And Gwendoline, for that is her name, asks each knight present to stand, then clockwise in turn tells them if their love for her will live or die. If love is dead, the knight sits. She proceeds around the table coordinating until one knight remains. She alternates live, die, live. I feel like I need to see this one in action. So again, if this person at Miss_Scott_N_Wood is listening, my brain can't cope with that this morning. So do let me know about that one. At Z Bridal saying, go to the library/staff room and grab some newspapers, get permission to take them apart and share out different stories. In pairs, students need to rewrite and turn it into a live TV news report or rewrite in poetic form or a monologue. Same story, but told differently. Share. I just love that line as well. Same story, but told differently. Share. Do you know what? I completely agree, Mal. My brain was going to explode reading that. And when you start reading something, you're like, I don't get this. But you're like, I've committed. I've committed to the cause. This is why I could never teach maths. That's what it is. At Maths, I said that. The next one is from at Maths with Miss B saying, version A, a whole class discussion. What topics have you covered in this subject, this term/year? List on a board. Assign topics to pairs who write a set of quiz questions and answer on that topic. 5 to 10 each. Do a quiz. Version B, whole class discussion as above. Then individuals write a test and mark scheme based on topics above. Mixture of short questions, long questions, extension, and problem solving. You know what I love about these is these are fantastic revision questions. I mean, these are tasks on this. Variations on above, they go on to talk about devise crosswords. Again, crosswords, not a massive fan, but some people like them. Devise crossword, matching activities, questions, annotate example answers, spot mistakes. Or this one says a Sporkle. I've never used Sporkle. Don't know what that is. Someone's saying here. A Sporkle quiz on a vaguely related topic. Again, fantastic examples. At Deputy Lesson Copy had this one. And again, I really apologise to anybody like me who is not a maths teacher who is struggling at this current time, because they used to teach them this multiplication method with a picture. And I have no idea what it is. Is it the Russian multiplication method? Apparently, maybe it's the one where you keep halving it. yeah, it's a magic trick when you first see it because it looks so random. Absolutely. I mean, there's a picture of it and I've no idea what's happening in it. But apparently it's the Russian multiplication method. So, you know, if in doubt, crack that one out. No one here saying, you know, CG Fowl saying put them in groups, set them the challenge of designing the ideal school, curriculum content, timetable for that day, the start of term, assembly speech, cool vision and values. They then have to present that to the rest of the group. Add the best outcomes to the student voice folder. Really good. Again, a meaningful, purposeful lesson. Love it. This one I love. This is, I think, possibly one of the best responses. And it's from @oldmanteacher1, who said, throw a biscuit in the middle of the floor, last child standing, eats it. We've then left to be saying happy Hunger Games. What a fantastic way to think. I just think that is absolutely perfect. Throw a biscuit on the middle of the floor, last child standing, eats it. Love it. Although I do now fancy a biscuit, especially a custard cream or a bourbon. Is it too early for custard cream? I don't know. I'm going to say it's not, but it probably is. Good morning to those who joined us. Welcome to your Monday morning breakfast show with me, James Clark. Very excited to be here. Not my usual place. Usually I'm on a Wednesday, but I am swapped with Mal for the last 2 weeks, but I will be back to the Wednesday next week. And the wonderful, lovely Mal will be back with you on your Mondays, starting off your week. We've still got a few more ideas to get through. We've still got a few more minutes left of the show. So let's try and get through some more ideas of last minute cover. And they have varied massively. To a Hunger Games style of last child standing for biscuits, to teaching self-defense, to using the joys of Kahoot and everything in between. But that's Sadden_star saying, or if you've got a set of dictionaries, play dictionary race. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I think I remember doing this. They find a random page in a word. They write down the page and a definition, do 5 of these. They swap with another student and find each other's words. Then they write a story or poem using their words. I think that's a really simple, but I'm a bit like, actually, I quite like that. I like that idea, a bit of a dictionary race. But I would be slightly, if they had to pick the words, I would be slightly worried about that one. But there we go. J. Naples Campbell said, The Apprentice, give them a creative brief. They have the period to create the pitch, present it, and make the advertising campaign. Absolutely. I think I'm going to do that today. I like that one. Silent reading, another person put there. We've had a few for the reading. Only enemy saying, what is the most important in life discussion? Write about what yours is and why. Philosophy 101. Love it. A lot of family life discussion. You know, someone else saying there, talk about, you know, life questions or what is the meaning of life, you know, nice light stuff. Mal saying, just told my kids they can't have a cookie for breakfast. I mean, I'm disappointed. I would love to have a cookie for breakfast. Blonde O saying, debate or persuasive letter or email. My year 8s wrote some awesome persuasive letters to Instagram requesting that they scrap beauty filters. Adamantly, it was supposed to be a geography lesson, but no problem. Worthwhile doing. Get them on telly. Someone saying at Stuart B to watch this morning. Jeremy Vine, Loose Women's box sets. Yes, I'm not quite sure if I could sit and watch Line of Duty or Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, or even Desperate Housewives with my students. But, you know, interesting choice. Thank you for that. At Enza Mark saying, mind map from memory of the last topic they covered, then notes, textbooks to fill the gaps, or an educational video on YouTube. Again, loving YouTube. We love it. And at TT Radio, they're saying it's almost if you wrote an article on it. And there's a lovely article on TES talking about the 5 reasons the perfect cover lesson looks backwards. At VE Wilk 213 saying, depends on what subject I'm covering, can casually come up with something. Covered an RE class recently. The work set they'd already done, looking at Christianity and Jesus' life specifically. So they got them to write a diary extract of one of the miracles from Jesus' perspective. kept them busy all lesson. Like, and that's the first time we've actually seen that about diary entries or reflective things. Again, a really simple, reflective, impactful way to do a lesson. I like those. At Librarian Hungry saying, also, this can be useful if completely last minute and no subject specialist available. Students independent reading and choose which and how many of these do. And what they've done is they've sent a really great screenshot here, which is lots of people are a massive fan of. There's been lots of retweets for this one coming through. And it has on some of these boxes things. So I'll read you a couple that says, from memory, create a list of every character that appears in the book you're currently reading, underline your favorite one, and write a paragraph explaining why they're your favorite. Another one here saying, in the back of your books, write today's date and the title while I was reading and choose one or more of 3 of these activities to do independently. That's what the task is. So one might be rewrite the opening paragraph, making improvements, up-level the author's vocabulary, restructure the sentences, include more complex punctuation if you can. Imagine you're one of the characters in your book that you are reading, create a diary entry for them and make sure you make references to the storyline of the book that you are reading. Loving this. You'll be able to find that. I've just retweeted that one as well. It's a great idea, great resource. If anyone's looking for something there, have a look at that one. Happens often. Teach a one-off ancient history, Latin, classical, English, classical Greek, lesson, which was actively Purcell. Not quite sure how good my Latin is. Give it a go. Never studied it in my life. At Rose Hair saying, call my bluff. Brilliant team game. Tea game? Oh my goodness. I've not had enough tea this morning. That's probably why. Let me take a quick gulp. Have to get a fresh one now. They're saying, call my bluff. Brilliant team game. You can get a list of words online, read some real dictionary definitions so they can get the style right first, distribute words to the teams, then make up 2 fake definitions, point for each team you full, point for each word you get right. I've done that before as well, where you have lots of people, say lots, 4 people sat in the front and they've all got different definitions for a word. So a word they would never probably have heard before, or, it's a bit random, a random word. Or a word in another language. And they have 4 definitions. 3 of them are incorrect. 1 is correct. And they each take it in turns to read out loud the definition. And the class in their groups or their teams have to decide which word is the correct definition. So not only is it a bit of fun, but you're also getting them to learn new words or random words that they hadn't used before in an engaging way. And some of the words you can get are very, very amusing. We've got some more here coming through. At Sarah GI 7826535526 saying, teach them the conventions of horror using the trailer